The August 16th Puerto Rico asteroid meteor tsunami myth from 2014 as told by Efrain Rodriguez, a crib note version of the version that was put out in 1988, May 14th, of Amaury, Rivera, Toro. So let's talk about why people don't critique this. I found only one video exposing, as you might call it, Efrain Rodriguez, and it's called Efrain Rodriguez, The Truth Comes Out. And it says, and it makes this affirmation without any, no tongue-in-cheek. Just listen and learn, people, and know how Satan works. Not propaganda, not hucksterism, not salesmanship, not snake oil. Why is this person not just acknowledging that someone is just lying about being a religious person, and why? Because DS, the person who uploaded the video, is a religious person and knows that they'd be shooting themselves in the foot. There's an assertion made by the alternative news crowd that scientists, astronomers, everybody is in on some sort of conspiracy because they're afraid to say something that is sacrosanct or taboo about a subject. There's a tiny amount of that. I mean, people are kind of afraid to do things like me saying that Mike Brown is simply wrong about a ninth planet other than Pluto, because he was wrong about Pluto. I can also be a defiant jerk and troll him by saying the same thing, but no, really, I think he's wrong for actually making these announcements, and I think he really is doing the meme of a scientist trying to gain prestige and fame. Not necessarily money, but that probably comes with it. And I consider him to be deliberately trolling the Nibiru crowd to get free publicity. Just frame it in the same context. He made sure his ideas matched up close enough to one of the versions of the Nibiru myth. Is that sacrosanct, or am I being defiant and being a rebel by, pointing this out? Am I really doing anything here? No, everybody else has done the same thing, and it's a foregone conclusion in science that you get critiqued. But why don't religious people critique religious people by doing the obvious thing? The person's claiming to be religious. That doesn't mean they are, because they want that same free pass from their religious followers. Religious people are notorious for saying, I'll pray for you, instead of, I don't believe you're religious. Anita Fuentes posts a bunch of videos that she's acting exactly in the way not to behave if you're claiming to be a Christian. Nobody points out, no, you're not a Christian. You're lying about it. You're just lying about it. And you're doing it for, and then they'll go silent. Their brain will lock up. Because claiming to be part of a particular group and adopting the trappings of it eliminates you from being critiqued by them and automatically gets you supporters. Every group kind of does this. Everybody within a group and outside of a group does this. Even people who say they're outcasts or a minority will just suddenly find lots of people are joining this minority voluntarily. Christian fundamentalists don't want to truly critique Islamic fundamentalists because it's the same damn thing. Radical Islam is no different than radical Christianity. Well, actually it is, but it's not that different. I mean, really, in principle anyway. And sometimes in action, which is really scary. They can't do that. If you want to be a sovereign citizen or a freeman on the land or a militia person, you're not allowed to critique another one who just flat out lied and made it obvious. Even though you're just critiquing their methods and tactics, you can't do it because you can't touch me. I've wrapped myself in the flag or in the Shroud of Turin or whatever. These are dodges. These are ways to avoid critique, and they're a sort of an insurance policy. That's the only assertion I'm going to make about this, really. But anyway, this story is from 2000. Well, it's actually from 1988. No, actually, it's before that. Quickly getting to this idea of the end of the world as we know it. One of the big reasons religious people won't point out that someone keeps predicting the end of the world and it doesn't happen, and that makes them wrong, is that applies to their entire belief system unless they just acknowledge the following. Dear Christians, your predictions of the end of the world and all the foretellings have already passed. These were all supposed to happen a long time ago. We're done. they were wrong. Just say it. The Bible was written by people, and the people got it wrong. If you don't want to say God got it wrong, that's fine. I wouldn't say that either. But that means that you then open up a gigantic bucket of worms saying it could be wrong. There's a lot of assertions made in the Quran that are just dead wrong. You have no trouble critiquing them, but you won't say that someone who says they're inspired by God could be wrong. There are hundreds of people on YouTube who have prophetic dreams. I had a prophetic dream last night. That's nice. It doesn't mean anything. This is like telling a person who likes fortune tellers and astrology that it doesn't work, because demonstratively it does not work. It's used as a sort of twisted self-help, self-affirmation thing. It's a feel-good thing. Sort of like voting in the United States. But it doesn't have an effect. Same thing with homeopathy. It is literally placebo effect. Here's the problem. Placebo effect really does work. It doesn't matter what you're taking, but the placebo effect really does work. You can trick your body into trying to make itself at least a little better. I do this, and a lot of other people do it when we have a head cold. We just burn through it. I used to go jogging and stuff, or running, when I would run and jog, which I don't do anymore. I bicycle. To hell with that. Or I would just work harder. To give myself something else to think about so I wouldn't be so preoccupied with how miserable I was. And sometimes it worked. The real reason I do it is so that I could then go home sick as a dog, because I know, and you should know, that unless you do something really heinous to yourself, head colds last a certain duration because they're based on viruses. That's all. They have a certain time duration, and you can't really shorten it up much. You can if you do, depending on what it is, very exotic medicines that actually are antiviral, but very few of them actually are available. You can look up antiviral drugs if you want to. But anyway, getting to the point, the homeopathy method here, or more accurately the placebo or big placebo thing, works because placebos do work. Because the only thing that's really a problem is your perception of it. The fact that you may be really sick as a dog and you shouldn't really ignore it. And then the same people will say, well, you take medicines to make it not hurt as much. It's like, yeah, I have a bad back. Or had a bad back. It's gone now. Because I took pain medications, wore a brace for a long time until I could stop taking the pain meds. Because it was seriously that bad, but I didn't want to take pain meds. And I toughed it out for a long time. And then I couldn't wear a back brace because honestly it got in the way and I didn't need it anymore. And every once in a while I will have a bad back. And I can punch through it by just concentrating on something like this. Lots of people do this stuff. That's not a miracle drug. That's not your inner zonk and whatever. It's literally just not mind over matter. It's trying not to mind about what matters. And on that same note, the same idea of I'm going to use religion or whatever I want to push, ideology or whatever, to get away with not having to deal with things in life is the same distraction method to get away with not having to deal with stuff that bothers you. It also goes the other way around. People decide that they're going to freak out over all sorts of things that are not really important. For instance, 9 out of 10 cars going through this intersection here stop in the middle of the space to stare at me making a YouTube video. I also like to point out that yesterday I almost got assaulted because I pointed out that someone was literally screaming at someone 1 foot away from them for no damn reason. And their only retort was, I bet you're homeless. That's your best you could do. Just saying. No, and congratulations, slow golf clap, to WSO Steve Olson, who's decided about a half hour ago to post a video where he's circling the wagons. He wants the people who support him to talk to him. Originally he was challenging, I challenge you to a debate, a hackathon. Oh, that's right, you can prove I said stuff that's wrong because it's still posted. Yeah, we all grabbed your videos. We can do a remix with dubstep if you like. You made a bunch of assertions you knew were not true. You were lying. People won't critique him because, well, he's religious or he's helping us. I want to believe, therefore I won't critique someone who's lying to me? Oh, come on. I critique the medical system that kept me alive because I don't owe them any favors. Why do all of you people out there consider this taboo to critique people that you really agree with? I agree with lots of people. I still critique them. For instance, today I had to send a bunch of astronomy guys a set of links because they don't know something silly and technical about websites. It's called aliasing. They post 4 links, but all 4 links go to the same place. So they should just post 2 links with alternate names for them. So I sent somebody that. I hope he's okay with it. By the way, some of the links just go to the wrong location when you do that. That's why you only post the ones that work. I also had to re-update my WSO Steve Olson backdoor Navy Sachi page data because of the fact that I didn't label them clearly enough. I made a mistake. And again, I'm reminding all the astronomers, I'm critiquing them only because they don't know some obscure, stupid technical thing they shouldn't have to know because, yes, I'm critiquing NASA and Navy. This is a Navy site. No, it's not. It's an astronomy site. Shut the hell up. It's got nothing to do with water and wearing silly outfits. Squids. Next. Stop letting idiots build your website. It's confusing, convoluted, and stupid. Next. Now, I'm going to say this with the same assertion everybody else does. Dear Navy Mill blah 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 blah. Unless you're claiming the information on the page is somehow sacrosanct, secret, and above criticism, stop making your website based on the idea that you're not producing something that is public domain. All information, all code, everything produced by the U.S. government, legally speaking, was restricted to being public domain for American citizens. They put out a video game based on the Unreal Engine. A lot of us could download it. Then they decided they were going to copyright strike everybody and screw with people. Yes, I hold a grudge. NASA is supposed to be never a stupid answer, never a straight answer. But the U.S. government is not supposed to be, let's sue them first and ask questions later. Sort of like WSO making assertions that he's going to sue people. And yeah, it got archived. Have a nice day, Steve. And yes, when you look at the archive, it points right back to your page, so you can't claim it's faked. When we deal with the U.S. government, we don't want to deal with bureaucratic idiots. We want to deal with the government doing its damn job. And that website, even though it's invaluable, is deliberately made convoluted and hard to navigate. It sticks up the home page data, taking up almost the entire page, like literally like this much, and then the stuff you're looking for is over here in the corner. That's horse crap. Yeah, dear U.S. government, stop making public announcements or doing press conferences. All of you suck at it. Next, stop making web pages. You suck at it. Next, keep posting stuff that's good. Next, if a military organization is in control of some data, tell them overtly, publicly, and make them have to have actual spankings if needed. Stop telling people that this is restricted in any way. It's not. Shut up. It's not James Bond villain mode. Okay, and I'm going to finish up the rest of this video with something a little more pleasant. The Pirate Bay had a birthday. 13th birthday. And it was apparently as of today. August 14th or so. Had its birthday. And I found out, because I was trying to look it up, that my host file was blocking it. A piece of software I trusted to only block sites that are truly dangerous decided to block this because they were told to. Now remember, this is a piece of software along with AdBlock Plus that's supposed to block pages or content that directly attacks and hacks my computer. Yes, the Pirate Bay at one time or another has had problems with that because they decided to do advertisements. And people stopped using their site, and everybody's just said, why don't you just put up a Bitcoin and PayPal page? So they did, and they stopped doing that, mostly. I'm going to have a set of links, not to Pirate Bay. It's okay. Just to the web page on Wikipedia. You can look up proxies for it, etc. I had to unblock it because I get a little offended when somebody blocks my access to stuff when I'm trying to block bad things. Next. Ad blockers get ad group executives blood boiling because we use them to block advertisements that install malware. Link below in the description. And finally, I'd like to thank everybody out there for all the goodwill. And I'd like to thank all of the charlatans out there for giving me a reason to learn new things every single day. Golf clap. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Good luck with that.